Day 0 is almost upon us. Hello virtual dreamers, Gregory here, and welcome to the Prologue, a weekly series of videos where I document my activities, track my stats, and complete quests, all for the sake of creating my dream virtual reality rig. Let's begin this week's Prologue by going over some changes that are happening behind the scenes. I mentioned recently that there have been some changes to my schedule as a result of some shifts that have occurred at my work. So I've been making some small adjustments to my own plans and the way I handle my day in order to better accommodate and consider the changes that have occurred in my day job, which is still my primary source of income. So one of the things that will be happening now is that the prologue's time period, or in other words, the range of dates that are covered by every single individual prologue, will now begin on Saturdays and end on Fridays. The idea here being that it allows me more time during the weekends when I have time available in order to dedicate towards the prologues. In addition, it also just lets me get things out of the way a little earlier in the weekend, since it means that I can start writing out scripts and getting everything ready on Saturdays instead of having to wait all the way till Sunday, which basically just leaves me the one day. In other news, the third season of Sword Art Online has finally released and is available to watch on several streaming platforms. I personally watched it on Crunchyroll and I had a pretty good time with it. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I actually wound up doing it, just because it's not exactly new information to me because I'm already a light novel reader, and thus I'm kind of ahead of the game here. But it still managed to surprise me here and there by adding a few little anime-only details and changing a few story beats actually in order to accommodate the Sword Art Online ordinal scale film that we've got. So yeah, pretty nice to see that they're making some nice changes here in order to consider the new canon that's been created by that film. And I really do think it's a good thing they've done so, just because the ordinal scale film was a pretty great addition to the Sword Art Online franchise and had a lot of little things and details that I really enjoyed. So yeah, it's definitely been a very fun ride so far, and between this and Goblin Slayer, I have a feeling my weekends of anime are going to be way more fun during the fall season now. Now, if only Crunchyroll will let me turn off the subtitles. I want to go watch this in RAW so bad. There's still more stuff to go over, everybody, but we have to get one thing out of the way first before we can do that. Everyone, the quest for the week of September 30th through to October 6th, Arduino instruction booklet is complete! Things more or less turned out as I was expecting them to. It wasn't all that difficult to actually take care of all this stuff, and by the end of it, I really did feel like I was just playing around with a Lego set, since for the most part, that kit basically came with everything that you would need, as well as just plain old very clear instruction guides and coding examples, and just plain old things for you to use directly in order to get the projects done. But even so, I still found that I managed to get quite a lot out of it, just because it does kind of do a very good overview of some of the fundamentals of building electronics, creating circuits, and understanding the workflow that's involved in this kind of small maker movement that we've got kind of building up right now. So all in all, I'd say that I managed to get quite a bit out of it, especially since it kind of inspired me to push a little bit further in some of the things I was doing before. Which kind of brings us to one of the topics I wanted to address from earlier. Everybody, I took some extra time after I completed the quest in order to test out my myogram again. This time I was using the serial monitor on my PC, as well as the bar graph generator, or whatever they call that function in Arduino, just to see how things were working with my Myo, and overall I found that the MyoWare is pretty darn functional for what I'm doing, and I think that if I can get the final test up and running in Unreal Engine sometime after the creation of this video is done, then we will be able to proceed on to the next step of this process, which is Day 0, the beginning of the construction of the virtual reality suit Mark 1. It's been a long time coming, everybody, but we're almost to the beginning of this process. All the studying I've done up until this point, as well as all the research and everything that I've been pouring into it, will all be building into what is going to come out of this suit at the very end of this process, along with the rest of the VR rig, including its capsule component, the PC hardware I use, and the software that's running it. Everyone, this is a pretty big deal for me personally, so I hope that you guys can maybe get a little bit of my excitement through the camera, because yeah, it's been several years now, so I'm really excited to see where this ends up, and if everything turns out how I'm expecting it to by the end of next year, we're gonna be in for something really, really special. Now then, everyone, we have to keep things moving here, so let's get on to the quest that I'm going to be completing for the next week of October 6th through to October 12th. VR 2022 Expectations. I have to create a video going over where I expect the virtual reality scene to be at in 2022. This video will be sort of a continuation or a part 2 of the prior Sword Art Online 2022 Expectations video that I did before. I kind of feel that there are some more things that I need to be very upfront and direct with you guys about, because I think that you understanding my perspective and what I'm expecting going forward will help inform you as to the kind of things that are going to be going on to this channel, as well as the activities that we'll be conducting, and whether or not you're going to want to be a part of some of these things going forward. I think that with the completion of this second video, you guys will have a good understanding of where I'm coming from, and we'll be able to move on to the next step of this process. Well, that just about does it for me, everyone, but you all had a quest to be completing as well. Your quest, Alicization Hype, had 2 possible clearing conditions. You had to either A, answer the 2 questions that were provided in the quest, or B, just post a comment down below sharing how excited you are for the upcoming season of Sword Art Online. We had a few clears for this week, so I have to give congratulations to Baka Templar Gaming, Matt Gehring, Phoenix Fireblazer, and Luix. Congratulations to all of you for completing the quest and earning your shoutouts for this week. As for the sketchbot for this week, Baka Templar Gaming requested that I draw the character Takuto Tsunahashi from Star Driver. I'll be honest here, I'd literally never heard of Star Driver prior to having to look into it for this quest, so it was an interesting opportunity for me just to look back at a few animes that I might have missed throughout these few years of anime, because this is an interesting case where this anime did release during that time period where I was just consuming anime rapidly, but somehow managed to slip through my cracks. So yeah, just kind of a fascinating thing going on there. And since I didn't really have too much to go on here, since I don't have much experience with the series, I decided to have a look through some of the art, and I have to say, Takuto looks pretty cool in a lot of the images that I found, just some of the general references, and I decided I wanted to capture just a little bit of that. But I did take a little bit of time just to look through a few videos or anything I could find just to kind of get a grasp of what their character might be like, and just made the image based on that. So let's get the sketch up right here. And yeah, the sketch for this week I opted to do entirely traditionally, and without really inking it either, mainly just to kind of have an opportunity to use some of the tools that I actually found the other day while I was going through my basement. I used to do a lot more traditional based artwork back in the day, and yeah, I used color pencils, markers, and all that stuff, and I found that all of it was pretty much still in pretty good working condition down there, so I decided why not give it a shot and just test out my traditional coloring ability, well, ability if you can call it that, but yeah, I decided to give it a shot and see whether or not you guys would like it for this sketch. I hope that you wound up enjoying the sketch Baka Templar Gaming. It was a fun opportunity for me to test out some of my old tools again, and to explore a new character that I've never really had any interaction with. So, thank you very much for your selection, Baka, and congratulations for clearing the quest. Now then, everyone, it's time for your next quest for the week of October 6th through to October 12th. Were you there? Everyone, all you have to do for this quest is post a comment down below. That's it. The main reason for this is because I'm going to be doing a very significant change to the style of these videos in the next prologue, and this is going to be a significant change in a way, so I kind of want to just commemorate it and mark it by capturing every single person who decided to post a comment in this video in the next video. You'll be able to see it very clearly when you turn up, but yeah, everyone, I hope that you'll be looking forward to the changes that are going to be going on. We'll still mostly keep a lot of the same information and stuff like that. It's just going to be a very different style of filming that will allow me to get these videos out a little bit quicker and simplify my process. I hope that you'll all be looking forward to it. Well, that just about does it then, everyone. Till next time, my fellow adventurers and dreamers. This has been Gregory, logging out.